When a P-N junction is forward biased, the width of depletion layer decreases. A. True. B. False. C. D. The correct answer is true. In which of the following case the rating of the transformer to deliver 100 watts of DC power to a load will be least? A. Half-wave rectifier. B. Full-wave rectifier. C. Bridge-type full-wave rectifier. D. Three-phase full-wave rectifier. The correct answer is three-phase full-wave rectifier. When a P-N junction is forward biased, the current flow is due to electrons only. B. The majority carriers in both P and N materials are driven toward the junction. C. The majority carriers in both P and N materials are away from the junction. D. Both A and C. The correct answer is the majority carriers in both P and N materials are driven toward the junction. In a JFET, the drain current is maximum when A. VGS 0. B. VGS is not 0 but is slightly negative. C. VGS is negative. D. VGS is negative and equal to VDS. The correct answer is VGS 0. A potential difference is developed across a current-carrying metal strip when the strip is placed in a transverse magnetic field. The above effect is known as A. Fermi's effect. B. Photoelectric effect. C. Joule's effect. D. Hall's effect. The correct answer is Hall's effect. In a zener diode, A. Forward voltage rating is high. B. Negative resistance characteristics exists. C. Sharp breakdown occurs at low reverse voltage. D. None of the above. The correct answer is sharp breakdown occurs at low reverse voltage. Which one of the following bipolar transistors has the highest current gain bandwidth product FR for similar geometry? A. P-N germanium transistor. B. P-N silicon transistor. C. P-N germanium transistor. D. P-N silicon transistor. The correct answer is P-N silicon transistor. The depletion layer across a P-N junction lies A. Mostly in the P region. B. Mostly in N region. C. Equally in both the P and N region. D. Entirely in the P region. The correct answer is mostly in the P region. An increase of reverse voltage decreases the junction capacitance. A. True. B. False. C. D. The correct answer is true. The maximum forward current in case of signal diode is in the range of A. 1A to 10A. B. 0.1A to 1A. C. Few milliamperes. D. Few nanoamperes. The correct answer is few milliamperes. On which of the following effect do thermocouples work? A. Thomson effect. B. Seebeck effect. C. Peltier effect. D. Joule effect. The correct answer is Seebeck effect. Which of the following constitutes an active component? A. Semiconductor device. B. Resistors. C. Capacitors. D. Inductors. The correct answer is semiconductor device. Which of the following characteristics of a silicon P-N junction diode make it suitable for use as ideal diode? A. 1 and 2. B. 1 2 3 4. C. 2 3 4. D. 1 3. The correct answer is 1 2 3 4. Resistivity of carbon is around A. 10 to 70 mOhm/cm. B. 80 to 130 mOhm/cm. C. 800 to 1300 mOhm/cm. D. 8000 to 13000 mOhm/cm. The correct answer is 800 to 1300 mOhm/cm. Which of the following is anti-ferromagnetic material? A. CRSB. B. NiO. C. MnO. D. All of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. In the saturation region of CE, output characteristics of N-P-N transistor VCE is about A 0.5 V, B 15 V, C 0.5 V, D 15 V. The correct answer is 0.5 V. In N-channel JFET, AID and VDS are positive but VGS is negative. BID and VGS are positive but VDS is negative. CVDS and VGS are positive but ID is negative. DID, VDS and VGS are all positive. The correct answer is ID and VDS are positive but VGS is negative. Figure represents A ski diode, B triac, C varactor, D gun diode. The correct answer is varactor. Almost all resistors are made in a monolithic integrated circuit. A. During the entire diffusion. B. While growing the epitaxial layer. C. During the base diffusion. D. During the collector diffusion. The correct answer is during the entire diffusion. The forbidden energy gap for silicon is A 0.12 eV, B 1.12 eV, C 0.72 eV, D 7.2 eV. The correct answer is 1.12 eV. In energy band diagram of N-type semiconductor, the donor energy level is A in valence band, B in conduction band, C slightly above valence band, D slightly below conduction band. The correct answer is slightly below conduction band. For an N-channel JEFT having drain source voltage constant, if the gate source voltage is increased, more negative pinch off would occur for A. High values of drain current, B. Saturation values of drain current, C. Zero drain current, D. Gate current equal to the drain current. The correct answer is zero drain current. An intrinsic semiconductor intrinsic electron density 1016 M3 is doped with donors to a level of 1022 M3. What is the hole density assuming all donors to be ionized? A 107 M3, B 108 M3, C 1010 M3, D 106 M3. The correct answer is 106 M3. The capacitor filter provides poor voltage regulation because A. The increase in ripple with load current causes a decrease in average voltage. B. The increase in ripple with load current causes an increase in average voltage. C. Filter promotes ripple at peak voltage. D. None of the above. The correct answer is the increase in ripple with load current causes a decrease in average voltage. If VR is the reverse voltage across a graded P-N junction, then the junction capacitance Cj is proportional to A. VR2, B. VRN, C. VRN, D. VR32. The correct answer is VRN. In the schematic representation of bipolar junction transistor, the direction of arrow shows the direction of flow of A. Holes, B. Electrons, C. Holes in PNP and electrons in NPN, D. Electrons in PNP and holes in NPN. The correct answer is holes. Conductivity, mobility and Hall coefficient Kh are related as A. Kh, B. Kh, C. Kh, D. Kh 1.1. The correct answer is Kh. The forbidden band in semiconductors is of the order of A. 6 eV, B. 1 eV, C. 10 eV, D. 0.01 eV. The correct answer is 1 eV. For an PNP transistor in normal operation, its junction are biased as A. Emitter base reverse, collector base forward, B. Emitter base forward, collector base reverse, C. Emitter base forward collector base forward. D. Emitter base reverse collector base reverse. The correct answer is emitter base forward collector base reverse. A FET is to be operated as voltage variable resistor. For this drain to source voltage VDS should be A 74, B VP, C VP, D VP. The correct answer is VP. The current gain of a bipolar transistor drops at high frequencies because of A. Transistor capacitance, B. High current effects in the base, C. Parasitic inductive elements, D. The early effect. The correct answer is transistor capacitance. In an intrinsic semiconductor, the intrinsic charge concentration at any absolute temperature T is proportional to AT, BT2, CT3, DT4. The correct answer is T3. The conductivity of an intrinsic semiconductor is symbols have the usual meanings. A. Generally less than that a doped semiconductor. B. ININP. C. ININP. D. ININP. The correct answer is ININP. The current due to thermionic emission is proportional to AT, BT2, CT3, DT4. The correct answer is T2. For radiating ultraviolet rays, LEDs use A. Zinc sulfide, B. Gallium arsenide, C. Gallium phosphide, D. None of the above. The correct answer is zinc sulfide. Addition of a small amount of antimony to germanium will result in A. Formation of P-type semiconductor, B. More free electrons than holes in semiconductor, C. Antimony concentrating on the edges of the crystal, D. Increased resistance. The correct answer is more free electrons than holes in semiconductor. Consider the following statements about conditions that make a metal semiconductor contact rectifying. A. 1 and 3 are correct. B. 2 and 3 are correct. C. 1 and 4 are correct. D. 2 and 4 are correct. The correct answer is 1 and 3 are correct. Silicon diodes have reverse resistance than germanium diodes. A much smaller. B. A much larger. C. An infinite. D. A negligible. The correct answer is a much larger. The kinetic energy of photoelectrons emitted by a photosensitive surface depends on A. Intensity of the incident radiation, B. Wavelength of the incident radiation, C. Surface conditions of the surface, D. Angle of incidence of radiation. The correct answer is wavelength of the incident radiation. When reverse bias is applied to a junction diode, A. Minority carrier current is increased, B. Majority carrier current is increased, C. Potential barrier is lowered, D. Potential barrier is raised. The correct answer is potential barrier is raised. Which of the following statements regarding two-transistor model of PNP device is correct? A. It explain only the turn-on portion of the device characteristics. B. It explain only the turn-off portion of the device characteristics. C. It explain only the negative region portion of the device characteristics. D. It explain all the regions of the device characteristics. The correct answer is it explain all the regions of the device characteristics. Highest resistivity of the following is A. Nichrome, B. Constantan, C. Metal, D. Manganese. The correct answer is nichrome. Lowest noise can be expected in case of A. Carbon composition resistors, B. Carbon film resistors, C. Tin oxide resistors, D. Metal film resistors. The correct answer is metal film resistors. For ABJT under the saturation condition. AICIB. BICAIB. CIC is independent of all other parameters. DICIB. The correct answer is ICIB. When a semiconductor bar is heated at one end, a voltage across the bar is developed. If the heated is positive, the semiconductor is A p-type, B n-type, C intrinsic, D highly degenerate. The correct answer is highly degenerate.